What's up, you guys? This is Devin from Project Sax. We're back with another Project Sax episode. Today we're going to be talking about Branford Marsalis versus Jay-Z. Now, let's think about this for a second. What could possibly bring these two together? Branford is a very opinionated artist, and with all the experience and all the respect he deserves, he should be the most opinionated artist that you find, especially playing in such a complex genre as classical music. And he goes and makes an analogy and a comparison to Jay-Z as he talks about ignorant music. Now, a lot of people, music is very, very technical, so I would understand why Branford Marsalis would put this in this light. Jay-Z is a very popular figurehead in the music community, but he compared Jay-Z to ignorance in music because he didn't understand some of the things, and he didn't agree with the things that Jay-Z was saying about black history, and I think he's correct. Jay-Z said something along the lines of, I think that hip-hop has done more for black history than any other social movement in pretty much history. And I'm paraphrasing, but that's essentially what he said, and I felt some type of way about that, but I was brought to this, one of my viewers, EJ, shared it on Facebook to me. When you have so much power in the music community, I feel like you have a social responsibility to give back something that's not so biased, in my opinion. I think Jay-Z came out very biased, and don't get me wrong, I like Jay-Z. I like a lot of things that Jay-Z does. I like some of his music. I like Rock Boys. A lot of the music he puts out has saxophones and horns in the background. So, I'm grooving. I'm loving Jay-Z. I'm loving Jay-Z. He's like, that guy that brought mainstream horns into his, hip-hop genre, kind of had a little crossover jazz feel to it. I was like, okay, yeah. But when he said this, it kind of made me feel like, okay, Jay-Z's a little bit out of touch. Now, and the reason I say this is Jay-Z has always been in the rap hip-hop game. I mean, weigh the positivities and negativities of rap in hip-hop. You see what I'm saying? They can really bring cultures together, like Jay-Z said. The reason he said that, it did a lot more for race relations is because white people want to come to the clubs because the black people were jamming the rap and hip-hop, and there go, bang. People wanted to go and be integrated because whites and blacks were in the same club together, and this is what makes it so influential for race relations. And I understand that, and that's a huge thing for us to want to commingle in one club together, especially how dangerous clubs are. Especially nowadays, clubs are very dangerous to have different races commingle. That's great. That's revolutionary. But the thing about it is, he forgets all these things that other people have done in these social movements for race relations, and kind of sheds a darker shade on the people who have died in social movements. If you put your life on the line, you deserve a respect that a millionaire who is just rapping. And you put your life on the line as a civil rights activist, and you want to be this guy that goes out and does all his marches and stuff like that, I think you deserve more respect than the person that's, the millionaire who doesn't really have, that life on the line kind of thing. Now, 50 years ago, you could have got shot, you could have got, KKK, dogs, the hoses and stuff like that, and people did this on a continual basis. I think that he showed a little bit of ignorance when he neglected to mention all the social movements that literally people were shooting, and it was like a war. You see what I'm saying? When you're in the studio nowadays, this is probably the most cushiest, time in history where you're in the studio. You have all these things that can help you get your voice out. They didn't have much to help them get their voice out. They rarely even was on the TV. You see what I'm saying? Like they don't have even if blacks were on the TV and they were able to be shined in a light for a social movement, it was in a negative light. You see what I'm saying? It's so much easier to do what Jay-Z is doing, and he kind of is stuck in that bubble where it's like, oh my goodness, we've done so much more for you. No, you have to understand the time that they were in. You have to understand the people who did it. You have to understand the risk. You have to understand what they didn't have. They didn't have this major form of communication that we have now. They don't have a whole bunch of things. And I just think that it showed a lot of bias and a lot of, I'm not really seeing the whole spectrum of the social movements, things that Martin Luther King did, things that these famous black people, who tried to do more for race relations. So And then you also have to think about, for every positive that hip hop does, there's almost a negative. You see what I'm saying? It's like the balance doesn't really make way for those type of suggestions that he mentioned in his interview, Jay-Z. I don't agree with everything Branford Marsalis says, and a lot of people in this video will be like, "Oh, you just hate all rappers." No, I like some of Jay-Z's music, you know, and you know, I don't agree with everything that Branford Marsalis says. So respect is given where respect is due. Jay-Z has good music. Branford Marsalis has good music. The thing about it is, the ideals are totally different, and I agree with Branford Marsalis this time.